live, Colbs. We're live.
We are. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first video sports roundtable with Jacked and Canned. As always, John Tessman, Colby Tyler. John, how we doing tonight, buddy?
There you are, Colbs. Man, it was just on me there for a minute. We would have just done this whole entire sports roundtable. People would have been hearing you, but they wouldn't have
That's
seen
why
you.
I backed off when it started up. I thought that you had something planned.
No, nothing planned with that. Actually, something that I do want to say, Colbs. Obviously, I'm sure that you already heard about it. Maybe you didn't because you were at work all day and you just got home a little bit ago. But John Madden, did you hear?
Yeah, I did. Actually, now I've heard like 84 times already.
All right. Well, I kind of figured that you heard about it. I wasn't 100% too sure if you did. Really freaking sad, right? Really freaking sad that that ended up going down. I mean, it was super random. His special literally just came out.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
that's right. I actually totally forgot about that. That is odd timing, isn't it?
yeah, like very odd timing. I don't know how I feel about it. You know, it's one of those things. Just very, very, very strange timing, man. But yeah, just wanted to give him a quick shout out before we jump in because I know mostly when we go into these roundtable episodes, we really emphasize a lot on football, anyhow. So with that said, let's just take a moment and just look at this man over video right here, John Madden. Boom. Just got to give him a shout out. The dude that turned me on
that was actually one of his go-to catchphrases, John.
What's
Boom!
that? Oh, yeah, that's yes. Hey, look at that. I just did that subtly. I didn't even catch on to it. So he single-handedly got me on to the NFL football games because I remember way back when it was Madden football. And then it was what? Freaking 2K Sports, which was kind of cool for the original Xbox because you could play through somebody's helmet.
Like 2K. 2K was nice, and I also loved Game Day. Game Day was another one that I thought was really well done.
NFL Game Day, that's right. They all disappeared. It was Madden that ended up dominating. Colbs, I know we've shared on our regular episodes, sports roundtable episodes, that you are not only a Madden player, but you're freaking dirty at it. I'm calling out to anybody out there in the Madden community. Take this dude down. If you can find out a way to stop him running the ball.
I was going to say, you just got to stop the run.
You did send me a picture the other day, though. You were throwing some touchdowns with the quarterback.
So... Yeah, I actually started messing around with trying to play quarterback because I realized, I'm like, you know what? I'm this one-dimensional. If I ever play anybody that just knows how to shut down the run, I'm going to have to pass now and again, huh?
Yeah, you're going to have to. It's just one of those things, man. One of those things. But Colbs, let's do this legend a favor here from Jacked and Canned. Let's raise up our glasses. Looks like John Madden's got a glass right there in that picture right there. So cheers.
Yeah, these are great glasses we have in our hands, John, by the way.
Beers. Okay, Colbs, what are you sipping on? Coors? And I'm sipping on a 2 Evil 13 Months of Sun, I guess. I don't know. New beer for me. Not bad. But anyways.
Now, John, one thing that I don't know if obviously you wouldn't remember because we weren't alive, but did you know that John Madden was a Super Bowl winning football coach for the Raiders back in the 70s?
Great freaking call out. Yes. I knew that he was a coach. I knew he was big into the Raiders. Actually, that's where the whole like Raiders came about, I feel, unless that was Chris Berman. But John Madden, yes, Hall of Fame coach. Now, what did surprise me was his record as a coach. Do you have any idea of what that was, Colbs, off the top of your head?
No, honestly, I have no idea. That's something that's a little bit out of my realm. I don't typically study into wins-loss records for coaches.
So playoff record 9-7, overall record 112-39-7, and win-loss record 103-32-7. And I'm not sure why win-loss record varies from an overall record.
I think that's probably just factoring in the playoff record with the regular season record.
Thank you for that. That is true.
That's just my guess. I actually didn't do the math in my head, so I'm not sure if that's right or not, but that would be my assumption. I mean, that's really good numbers. I mean, that's legit.
I mean, Colbs, I didn't really know him from a coaching standpoint, but definitely caught on at the tail end of him being an announcer, which he was amazing, but definitely the Madden football games. I mean, am I wrong? But didn't he have like a crucial part in the Madden football games when it came to voiceover, like commentary and like
Yeah, well, I
Madden
mean,
2003 and
well, the
stuff?
game started out as John Madden Football back in, I want to say, either 88 or 89, and
Ooh.
it was a game that was based upon that it was John Madden's football.
Oh
It
my
wasn't
god.
Yeah, it wasn't something that was necessarily meant to be what it is today. Although I know obviously with the growth of just the way technology's gone, that now we have the ability to do all these things in video game technology. But back then, a lot of it was just, we're going to center this football video game that's going to be a little bit different from all the rest around somebody in football that everybody knows their name, and that somebody was John Madden.
Dude, great freaking call out. You said 1988, right?
It was either 88 or 89. I'm leaning towards 88
88.
because I think
Yeah.
89 was the first one that was deemed Madden 89.
Oh my god, yeah. 1988. I had no idea that that was a real thing. So I'm sure our audience probably didn't know that either. So Colbs,
Yeah,
thanks
no,
for freaking
no,
bringing
it's
that
great
up.
considering it's before I was born. So, I mean, I'm doing a very good job of being a historian. I don't even think I'm an expert. I'm just a historian.
Yeah, well, hey, you know what? Cheers to being a historian. One more time. Cheers for John Madden. We're going to go ahead and kick off with our roundtable episode. Cheers. All right, Colbs. One of our favorite segments here. Favorite segments. All right. Your favorite segment, especially mine, right? Who's on top? Of course, we're going to kick it off with NBA. And Colbs, please give a little bit more takes into the NBA here. We could go a little bit longer with this episode. It's the holiday time. We're giving more content to our fans, okay?
Yeah,
NBA
yeah, I got you.
standings, Eastern Conference. I'm going to mention a couple teams. Usually I just mention the top team, all right? But it's getting a little bit more interesting. Eastern Conference, we get the Nets 23-9, the Bulls 21-10, Bucks 22-13, Heat 21-13, Cavs 20-13. And then it starts kind of separating a little bit, Colbs, there when it hits the number 6 spot there with the 76ers at 17 wins. Of course, got to mention the Celtics 16-18 and the Knicks 15-18. Colbs, any thoughts in the Eastern Conference? What the hell's going on there?
COVID. No, but seriously, I mean, the Nets are doing this just based purely on talent. There's nothing else that's going to drive that team more so than just the simplistic idea that their talent is above everybody else's. So the Nets, to an extent, are just always going to be a top tier team as long as they keep those guys together. One thing that did make me laugh is Kyrie Irving, who has basically sat out the entirety of this season because he doesn't want to get vaccinated. And in New York, you have to be vaccinated to play in NBA basketball. So Kyrie was just like, okay, I won't play. He he makes the statement, okay, I'm ready to come back. I'm ready to just play all the away games. I just won't play the home games. And he comes back and immediately has COVID and is in protocol. Still hasn't played a game.
Oh, Colbs. COVID is just running rampant everywhere. I mean, obviously, speaking firsthand, you had it, so you're living proof of it, right? Yeah, it's just everybody's getting it right now. So maybe that's, I don't know. This sounds terrible, but maybe that's a good thing as far as like, I don't know, it weakens a little bit or everybody gets it. Who the hell knows, man? This virus is so freaking weird. As long as it doesn't turn into the T virus one where everybody just is a zombie, like real life, like Day of the Dead, Living Dead kind of thing. Who knows, right? Time will tell.
I mean, that would be a very unfortunate variant to come along the way, as if all of a sudden everybody's the Day of the Dead.
Yeah, well, you know what? If there's some sort of virus that starts turning people into vampires, I'm down with that one. Sounds pretty cool. I know our friend Al, she'd be down. Buffy, Angel, the
Oh,
whole
God.
nine. So yeah, just had to give Buffy the Vampire Slayer a shout out there. So if they got a Buffy the Vampire strain, then maybe sign me up. I don't really know, but she really wasn't a vampire. So what the hell am I talking about? Whatever, man. NBA standings is what we're talking about. Western Conference. Warriors number 1, 27-6. Suns 26-7. Jazz 24-9. The Grizzly Bears, kind of like calling them that, 21-14. Colbs, what the frig? What the frig? 5-game losing streak. Do I
Yeah.
even have to say what this team is?
Now, I know you're talking about LeBron and the boys, and yeah, it's
What
not
is
looking great, John.
what's going on, man? Is it done?
So, I mean, I have no hopes of a championship this season unless we find some miraculous way to overhaul this entire roster. But it just isn't working. The defense plays terribly on a pretty consistent basis, which is strange considering that when this team wants to play defense, they seem to be one of the better teams at it in the league, but they're just often playing lazily on defense, and it's bothering me. I'm going to be honest. Watching them play defense is the most frustrating thing in the world for me. On top of it, you've got Russell Westbrook there who can't shoot the three, yet continues to take them. Granted, I feel like the rate's gone down a little bit over the course of the season to where it's not just a consistent, I'm going to barrage you with everything I got all the time. But it's just not a good fit. I mean, like I said, when we acquired him, this is something where LeBron James needs the ball in his hand to be at his best. Russell Westbrook needs the ball in his hand to be at his best. Russell Westbrook can't shoot the basketball. At this point, LeBron is like the best shooter on the team. And I don't just mean by percentages. I just mean he's the only guy that can shoot the ball from any range on the court at any given time and can also drive to the basket. There's no offensive firepower outside of maybe, you know what, I'll give Melo some of this because Melo can do a little bit of everything. But Melo has been somewhat, I don't want to say irrelevant because I think that kind of stomps on somebody that's actually a pretty good player at this point. But it's not what Melo from 10 years ago was. It's not the same kind of Melo. So we need new guys and we need to get younger. We really need to get younger. That's the biggest thing because right now we just are trotting out a bunch of guys that are all older than I am, and I can tell you that I wouldn't play very well in the NBA right now, and not just because of the recent sickness.
Well, LeBron James Jr., so the real
Ronnie,
LBJ. Yeah, so we're gonna see what's gonna happen there. Maybe he'll link up with his dad there one of these next few years. Never know.
I think that's the way that LeBron goes out. Is I think he wants to play his final season with his son.
Hey, why not, man? Be definitely interesting. Now, what about the rest of that conference, Colbs? Any takes on any of those top players? It's pretty tight. Look
Yeah,
at
I
the
mean, I would say that the Warriors or the Suns are going to win the whole thing. It doesn't look like it's going to be the only other team that people can really realistically predict is Brooklyn, but I don't think that Brooklyn stays healthy enough to compete with the likes of Golden State and with Phoenix. I actually think this might be Phoenix's year. And I'm excited about it because I really would like to see Chris Paul at least snag one damn ring because the amount of people that I hear blast Chris Paul just because he's never had one, it's unbelievable. And at this point, I mean, Chris Paul has shown time and time again, he is an elite basketball player, not only in today's NBA, but of all of history in the NBA. So I'd really like to see him get a little bit more credit by getting that illustrious ring that everybody needs you to have for you to be great.
hell yeah, Colbs. NHL kicking over here. Our Eastern Conference Atlantic Division, the Lightning, 26 for OTL, 44 points. Maple Leafs, 28 to OTL, 42 points. We got the Metropolitan Division, the Hurricanes at 21 and 7, 1 OTL, 43. We got the Capitals, 18-6, 7 OTL, 43. Got to mention the Rangers right behind them there. So they're still in the hunt. Western Conference Central Division, the Wild. I love that. I love it. Week after week, I want them to stay on top. I'm actually going to pause after them. Okay. 19-9, 2 OTL, 40 points. Pacific Division, the Golden Knights. All right. 20 and 12, 0 OTL, 40 points. And of course, I have to mention them right here, but the Seattle Kraken, just because I have to. 10-17, 3 OTL, 23 points. Colbs, am I finally reading the NHL standings correctly? Am I
Yeah, the
doing
one
it
thing I
wrong?
would suggest is that maybe when the team has 20 wins exactly, maybe instead of saying 28, 3 OTL, maybe saying 20 and 8, 3 OTL, just to give a little break between the 20 and the next number because it kind of just makes it sound like you're saying 28 and 3 OTL.
Well, fair enough. I'll raise up the glass to that one. So it's going to be a mystery. All right, it's like Scooby Doo. It's going to be a mystery. You don't know if it's 28 wins or 20 wins, so you're going to have to log in and go see for yourself. Because guess what? This is who's on top, baby. All right, here we go. Going over to the NFL. All right, kicking off with the AFC. We got the AFC East, the Bills, Colts. It's tight. It's tight
I
in a
know.
lot of these conferences right now. Holy crap. AFC East, Bills 9-6. Whoops, 9-6. There you go. Not 96.
Well, you don't have to do it when it's 9 because 9 isn't 90.
Thank you, Chobes.
28
9.
sounds like 28, not like 20-8. It's different when it's 9-6. That's fine.
True, but we're gonna have that problem as we move on. All right, 9-6. We got the Pats sitting at 9-6. Dolphins 8-7. Jets 4-11. Colbs. I don't know. I'm kind of liking the Jets right now. They're not looking as bad as before. All right, AFC West. The Chiefs 11-4. Chargers 8-7. Raiders 8-7. Broncos 7-8. The Broncos really fell off their 2-game losing streak. Kind of hurt some chances there. The Chiefs obviously being the hot team with 8 straight wins. Colts are looking good again, man. So that's good to see. AFC North, Bengals 9-6, Ravens 8-7, Steelers 7-7, and
one.
Thank
John.
you. The Browns 7-8. That whole entire oh my god, that's just a mess. Everybody's still got a chance. I don't get it. The AFC North, everybody's still got a slim chance. I don't know how, but whatever. AFC South, Titans 10-5, Colts 9-6, the Texans 4-11 on a 2-game winning streak. They've been putting up some points lately. Texans ain't looking that bad. Might not need another quarterback. Just saying. You got the Jags sitting there at 2-13, Colbs. NFC, the Cowboys sitting on top over there. The NFC East at 11-4, Eagles 8-7, Washington 6-9, Giants at 4-11, NFC West, Rams 11-4, Cardinals 10-5, 49ers 8-7, Seattle Seahawks. That's a sad Seahawk sound. 5-10. Take a moment of silence for Seattle because that's Colb's team. Hey, cheers again. Raise up the cup. Here we go. Tap it up. Here we go. Throw it down. Colb's feeling sad. NFC North. We're going to go over to another not a tight division. What am I talking about? The Packers are running away with it. 12-3. 7-0 at home on a 4-game winning streak. Vikings sitting at 7-8. The Bears, they're not that scared anymore. They're crawling up there, 5-10. And the Lions, Colbs, 2-12. But I still like the Lions. Jared Goff is coming back. In 1.
There it is.
NFC South, Buccaneers, 11-4. They've clinched. It's done. Like, are you going to play your starters? What's up? I don't know. Like, do you play?
Well,
Rob
the answer to that,
Gronkowski?
John, is yes, because you also are fighting for the number 1 seed in the NFC that does get that first round bye. So yes, Tampa continues to play their starters.
All right, fair enough. Falcons 7-8, Saints 7-8, and the Panthers 5-10. 5-game losing streak for the Panthers. Man, they were into it at one point. I don't know what else to say, but Colbs, I do know what to say. That's who's on top.
Thank you, John. So we're going to move over, as we always do, to the NFL Power Rankings as brought to you by Colbs. For those of you that don't know, this is where I go through and I tell you who I believe to be the top 10 teams in the league as currently constituted. So at number 10, we're going to kick off with the New England Patriots. So the New England Patriots are currently 9-6. They are on a 2-game losing streak as they've now lost to both the Bills and the Colts. New England, as I've told you, has the lowest ceiling out of any of these teams, and it's really come out on display in the last couple of weeks. They haven't been able to get their offense necessarily generating outside of a fourth quarter effort against the Colts. They didn't look quite right against Buffalo either. Granted, I had a feeling that Buffalo was going to be able to shut them down relatively well, but more so than anything else, as far as that Buffalo game goes, you just got to give that up to Josh Allen. He made some phenomenal plays down the stretch there. But New England, they have limited capabilities where a lot of these teams that are in this top 10 don't have that same struggle. So I think you're going to see a lot of times where New England has this against them that nobody else in the league has. And again, I don't think this is so much on Mac Jones as I do the idea that they just don't have a lot of weapons. I was actually putting it into a piece that I wrote recently that I remembered a certain man named Tom Brady also struggling to throw the ball to N'Keal Harry.
Who?
Tom Brady, John.
Oh.
The guy.
I just wanted to mess around with the camera.
I know you do. This is the ADHD. The video might be the downfall of this damn show. But New England Patriots, number 10. Number 9, we move to the Cincinnati Bengals. John, I know that you got to see some of the spectacular effort that was Joe Burrow last week. So I know you had him on your fantasy bench, but Joe Burrow lit the field on fire, man. That was phenomenal. He threw for 5 touchdowns, or 500 yards rather, 5 football fields worth of offense. That's what Joe Burrow was able to put together. And people thought they were simply a running team with Joe Mixon. So let's take a moment to laugh at the people that thought that they were a running team with Joe Mixon.
Mm-hmm. Cheers to that.
Oh, absolutely. Number 8, John, the Buffalo Bills. So, like I've said, for the majority of the year, they are both the best and worst team in football. You never know what you're going to get. It's kind of like the box of chocolates thing from Forrest Gump. So, what I would say is that Buffalo, I do believe, is the best team in the AFC East. We'll see how that plays out come playoff time when they have to start playing all the best teams, because if they have one of these off nights, they're done. Like, you can't have an off night against a Kansas City. You can't have an off night against really even like a Cincinnati. So I've got Buffalo at number 8 because I do think that they are the best team in the AFC East. I think they're one of the best teams in the AFC, but they worry me, man.
Colbs, in Buffalo going into Atlanta, I don't think it's the easiest game because Atlanta, they do have a chance. They can catch you off guard.
They're basically the inverse of the Bills, where they are also sometimes really good and they're just usually pretty bad, where the Bills are usually pretty good, but sometimes pretty bad. It's almost like it's not even the Spider-Man meme. I don't know what to call it. It's 2 people looking at each other and pointing, but they're like, we're not the same, but you look a lot like me.
Yeah. It'll be interesting.
Number 7, the Arizona Cardinals. Woof. They are just dropping them at this point. The thing is I can't take away from the fact that for the beginning part of this season, just how good Arizona looked. I got to think that they get it back together in the relative future. And I know last week, obviously DeAndre Hopkins is out, so we're not going to see DeAndre Hopkins going forward. But James Conner was out too, which, it's not something that I think is what should be defining their team. But it sure as hell didn't help that they didn't have that extra 2-yard rush that they needed. So
thank you.
What I would say is that Arizona, they're going to figure it out. They're going to get it together. The problem is that they have very limited time to do so at this point. It doesn't look like they're going to win this division, which means they'll be going on the road for their first playoff game. And you don't want to go against any of these guys because it looks like it's probably going to be against either the Rams, who just beat you, or the Cowboys, who we're going to see them both on this list.
So, Colbs, do you even think that Arizona has a chance
against
Dallas? Or is that one of the picks of the week and then that's a little teaser?
No, it's not. Because as much as I want to take Arizona there, I'm still not 100% sure what I want to do. Just because Arizona has been on such a bad streak. I feel like that streak has to end, but this ain't a good time to play the Cowboys.
Right.
Number 6, the Indianapolis Colts, who turned they've been hot, man. I mean, do you know how many in a row they've won? Do you still have the standings right there? Because I want to say they're up to like 6 straight wins or something like that.
For who was that?
The Colts.
The Colts. They've been a hot team as well. And Carson Wentz just ended up getting COVID today. So that's going to be curious to see. But they're looking at changing the COVID restrictions there for the league, where you only have to be out 5 days. If that's the case, then Carson Wentz may have a slim chance at playing in the game upcoming here on Sunday. And if they got him, I think they got a good chance at it. But Colts, they're on a 3-game winning streak.
Okay, so it's not as long as I thought, but just keep in mind that their last 2 wins are against the Arizona Cardinals and the New England Patriots, who are 2 teams that have
Pretty
now
good.
previously been on this list. So we know that those are good football teams, and the Colts are still beating them. Number 5, John, your Dallas Cowboys. I think they figured out their offense, buddy.
Dude, they got to figure it out from what it looked like last week. Now, what I will say is Dallas has been playing a little bit of easier teams lately in their schedule. Obviously, I'm a Cowboys fan, but let's take a look here. All right.
56 points. That's something that you're supposed to do beyond what you're
Yeah,
supposed to do to bad teams. So
I get
that
that, Colts.
that was the impressive part to me, because the problem with them has been their offense has been struggling. They really
Yeah.
got a lot of that together. But go ahead, read off their last few games.
Yeah, last few games there against the Saints, they put up 27-17. Cowboys over Washington on December 12th when they met, 27-20. The Cowboys 21, Giants 6 on December 19th, and obviously 56-14 over Washington. But what I wanted to point out there is, I mean, the Saints, they're banged up. I get it. Yeah, they beat the Bucks 2 weeks ago.
Well, I
They beat
mean,
them
this
pretty
is
good with a
also
solid defense.
when they played them though, when Dallas played them, Taysom Hill was in there, which is a much
Correct.
different Saints team. That's a much
Correct.
better Saints team. So
Absolutely.
they didn't have the worst version of the Saints, who really aren't that bad. They're just limited.
Yeah, so it's when you look at it though, it's kind of you got 3 of those games being divisional foes between Washington and the Giants. So you kind of want to see that momentum shift here with the Cardinals being the true test, is what I think. To your point, the Cardinals, it's got to break. They are still a good team. Kyler Murray is still a good quarterback. He can make things happen. Now, here's what's different for Dallas, right? They haven't played outside of the Eagles with Jalen Hurts, a quarterback that can scramble, okay, like Kyler Murray could. So for the defense, that might change up the strategy a little bit. So I'm kind of curious to see what are they going to do to shift their game plan. They've been on fire as a defense, but Kyler Murray's not over here every single week. Yeah, he's not on fire, but he's not throwing 3 to 4 picks. He's not fumbling it 2
Right.
times a game either. So he might get 1 touchdown compared to what he was getting 3 early on in the season in a game. I'm curious, man. I'm curious. I'm rooting for Dallas, but it's going to be a tough one.
I think this and the Kansas City Cincinnati game are the 2 that I'm most excited about watching this weekend, because those are both really good
Yeah.
matchups of just what exactly are we going to see. Number 4, John, the Los Angeles Rams. The Rams,
Yes.
they got it going right now. They're clearly on top of the NFC West. It looks like they're going to capitalize and finish off that division here in the near future. Granted, there's only 2 weeks left, so I guess they don't have a whole lot longer to hold that off. But the Rams have been clicking pretty well, and I've heard some people even say that their win over Minnesota, because it was only by a touchdown, wasn't that impressive. For one, they were up 10 points with like almost no time left. Minnesota was able to get themselves a field goal and then try to remain in the game. But the Vikings also are a pretty good football team,
They
John. I mean,
are.
they are 7-8, but they're also a little bit of that Buffalo Atlanta complex, where sometimes they look like one of the best teams in the league and sometimes they look like trash. So when I look at that win, that to me is just the Rams going on the road and doing what they should have done. I don't think that this is something that signifies that they're in any kind of trouble. Number
Yeah,
3.
I'm
Oh,
with
I'm
you.
sorry. Did you have
Colbs,
something there?
real quick, dude. Odell Beckham Jr. Just wanted to point out, obviously, everybody knows the season that he had. Well, not just, this year, but 2020 was down for him as well. Last good season that he had was in 2019 with over 1,000 receiving yards and only 4 touchdowns. Well, I wanted to point that out because since he joined his new team here,
Yep.
he has 4 touchdowns, okay, in just the last 5 games. Colbs, I get it. He's not
Well,
throwing up a whole
technically,
bunch of
John, 4
yards.
games because he missed one of those games with COVID.
Oh, was he out for the Seattle game?
Oh, no, you
Oh,
know
no,
what?
he
I take it
played.
back, John. He did play. That's right. We extended the time for or the NFL did rather, not
Yeah.
me and John. We did not extend the time frame. I did not want that. Number
Hell yeah,
3,
man.
John, the Tampa Bay Bucks, Brady and the boys. They got it back together, granted, against a very, very sufferable Carolina team, but they were able to pull it off. Antonio Brown is back in the lineup. It looks like it made immediate dividends for the team. So we
AB,
can expect
baby.
to continue to see Tampa somewhere around this realm for the remainder of the season. Number 2, the Green Bay Packers. Aaron Rodgers, he's pissed. Pissed. And number 1, the Kansas City Chiefs. They
Nice.
are better than you. Finally, the Chiefs are back, baby. I
You
don't
can
want to
say
say
it
anything
again.
else. I just want to keep it right to
Keep
that.
it.
Number
Keep it at
1,
that.
the Kansas City Chiefs, because they are better than you.
Colbs, I love it, man. I love it. Yes, they are back. I'm excited. I know the running back, Edwards-Helaire, is a little banged up right now. So that's going to be interesting, but they got some great they got a great RB2 and a great RB3 over there. So I think they're going to be fine with the running game. And of course, Patrick Mahomes, he's back, baby. He's playing good. Uh it's them versus the Bengals. That's going to be an interesting one. I mean, Joe Burrow and the Bengals' whole entire offense is coming off the most electric game this whole entire NFL season, in my opinion. Like the amount
Yeah,
of yards that he
I would
put up in
agree.
touchdowns. I mean, I don't think that they're going to continue that going into this one. I really don't. I think that was one of those fluke games where everything was clicking and was going right. It's going to be a good one, though. It's going to be a good one.
All right, John, are we ready to get to the picks from last week?
All I got to say is, woo!
All right, John. So last week, and as always, I will start with myself. I went 11-5 on the win-loss record, which puts me at 151, 88-1 for the season thus far. I am now, by the way, in my pick'em league, only 4 games out of the lead. For spreads last week, I went 8-8, which puts me at 126, 111-2. So again, I'm pretty damn happy with this because after last year where I was like right about at 500, I actually think I might have finished 500. I look like I'm going to make it with only 2 weeks to go. So I'm pretty happy there. And for over-unders, I went 7-9, which puts me at 129, 110-1. So we're also looking pretty solid there, even though not a great week for me from the spreads and over-unders perspective. John, for the picks we gave to the audience, I went 2-3, which puts me at 38, 41-1 for the season.
Give me the money.
Johnny, you went 5-0, making you 49, 30-1 for the season.
Dude.
John, if you put money on these games, you would be bleeping rich.
What if I put money on this whole season? I would be, my God.
Yeah,
Damn
if you
it.
put $10 on every game that we've picked, you'd be up hundreds right now.
That makes me so sad. I need to go sign up for DraftKings or FanDuel or
I
something
know,
like that.
but here's the funny thing. I think I got to pick the games, and you just got to call them. Like, I don't
That's
think
it.
you can sit there and look over the games and then predict
Correct.
them the same way. I think it has to
Correct.
just be Colb's pick the game. John,
Yep.
you actually pick the game.
I think that might be fun for next,
It's a
for next
strategy.
season. For next season, though, I think that might be a fun way to do it.
I'll just actually bet my money on what you pick. I should have been doing that this year.
Yeah.
Sparky the Coin, by the way, went 4-1.
Dude.
That puts him at 35, 43-1. So now he's only 3 games down from you, John.
Oh my God, it's wrapping up. It's completely impossible for you to catch up to me, correct?
Pretty much at this point. I'm trailing you by, let's see, by 11 games with 2 weeks to go. So
Yes.
even if I went 5-0 both weeks and you went 0-5, you would still have a 1-game lead.
Woo!
Yeah, so John has officially wrapped it up for the season. I'm not going to do what I did last year and give extra picks to try to get my record up. I'm really just concerned about getting over 500, which I'm only 3 games down from. So that is what I am thinking here as far as that goes. Now, John, I'm going to ask you to buffer for the audience because after I made fun of you for not being prepared with not having the standings up and not having the coin ready, what I didn't bring was a pen. So I'm going to grab a pen.
Go right ahead, my friend. So, what I want to say in this meantime is Colb's already knows this because I was blowing him up. I was texting him like a crazy madman the other day. Okay. I made my fantasy championship game. I think we got 12 or 14 teams in the league right now. And I'll tell you what, I'm nervous because I don't win anything at all. All right. And here is my starting lineup for it. I got Patrick Mahomes as my quarterback, Jordan Howard right now as a running back. I got Michael Carter, Antonio Brown, Cooper Kupp. Okay. I got Kittle from the 49ers, George Kittle over there. I'm hoping that he's going to have a good game. They're having some controversy right now with who's going to be playing at quarterback. I got St. Brown with Detroit. He's been on fire lately. All right. I got Greg Joseph as a kicker. I got the New England Patriots defense starting for me. I got Joe Burrow on the bench, like Cobes mentioned earlier. James Conner on the bench. He's not looking too healthy at the moment. Kareem Hunt on the bench. Jamar Chase on the bench. Rob Gronkowski, which that one's kind of toying at me. I don't know if I should play him or not because they're going against the Jets, and Rob Gronkowski's had a couple of down games, and I don't know if they're going to continue to have him play all of the snaps because let's face it, right? Tampa's going to be in the postseason. Tom Brady's going to want one of his biggest weapons there, especially with, Evans being questionable and all of the injuries and especially COVID into play over there at the Bucs. So who knows what's going to happen there. So definitely I'm toying with the idea of playing Rob Gronkowski. I got the Dallas Cowboys defense on the bench. Colbs, I know that you just joined back here, so I'm just going over a little recap of fantasy and how excited I am for any fantasy players out there.
I had actually popped by about maybe a minute ago at this point, and I realized I heard you say Michael Carter, and I was like, okay, he's talking his fantasy team. I know you're in the finals this week. I figured we'd give
championship.
You a moment to just, yes, exactly, where there's money on the line. So John,
700.
one way or another, has money coming, but he could be winning 700 versus 120.
Yeah.
So I wanted to let you go ahead and tell the audience what's going on there. I said, you know what? I kind of got to piss anyway. Let me just go do that while John wraps up talking about his fantasy team.
That was my starting lineup, and Colbs, I already know that you're aware of who I have because I send poor Colbs all the screenshots as it goes on. But here's who I'm going against. Okay, ladies and gents, if you play fantasy, if you do anything, or if you're just even curious about some of these names, right? I'm going against Josh Allen. Now that one, I'm terrified, Colbs. I'm terrified.
You never know what he's going to do.
I want Atlanta to step up. I want the Falcons to be back, baby.
I wouldn't bank on the defense to step up there. I think
I just want Matt Ryan to just show up and put the pressure on. I'm hoping for it, man. I'm going against Ezekiel Elliott. That terrifies me too.
I wouldn't be terrified of that because he's been off for a little over a year at this point. He still obviously has some of it, but it's not consistent the way it used to be.
I get that, but he's showing up with all sorts of fire from what I could see over the last couple of weeks. It's a tough one for me. I'm going against Darrell Williams. Sorry if I hacked his first name there. Darrell Williams, because Edwards-Helaire, he's looking like he's going to be injured. I'm a little spooked for that one because he could throw up some serious numbers there as a lead back. I'm going against A.J. Brown. That one scares me too. Ty Higgins, or T. Higgins,
he just went off last week.
He just went off, but I feel like it was a fluke. And since he has so many weapons, between Mixon and Jamar Chase.
Yeah, you want to hear something kind of cool, John?
What's up?
Cincinnati is now the first team in NFL history to have a 4,000-yard passer, 1,000-yard rusher, and 2 1,000-yard receivers on the roster.
Oh, dear God. See, that
are under 25. I should make that point. They're all under 25 years of age because I'm sure that it has happened like with Peyton Manning and those Colts teams that had Marvin Harrison, Edgerrin James, and Reggie Wayne, but nonetheless.
I'm scared for it, though. I'm going against Mike Gesicki with Miami. So I don't want to say anything and kind of hex it, but Kittle versus him, I'm thinking Kittle's got to win, but I don't know what the hell's going to go on. Kittle is so I don't know. It's up in the
No,
air.
I think you got to win there, but Gesicki is one of Miami's favorite targets.
Yeah, he is. I'm going against Jacoby Myers. I'm going against Koo of the Atlanta Falcons as a kicker, and I'm going against the Colts defense. The person I'm going against got Matt Ryan on the bench, Swift from Detroit, but I think he's kind of banged up a little bit, so who knows if he's going to play Michael Gallup. Uh, Uzma and Seattle Seahawks defense, which I don't see them playing Seattle's defense over Detroit because Detroit at least has been putting up a couple of points lately. And Jared Goff, believe it or not, has kind of been on fire. I know he didn't play last week, but I think he had like 9 touchdowns compared to 2 picks, and he had a pretty damn good passer rating. I think it was 105.1.
Yeah,
So,
he's been okay. I mean, he's in Detroit, man. Like you can only expect so much of him. He's doing what he can.
but Colbs, I had to go ahead and say that, man.
No,
Let's
that's
continue
fine.
on.
All right, so we're gonna get into the picks for this week, John. Game one that we have the Philadelphia Eagles at the Washington Football Team. It is the Eagles -3.5, and I do have Philadelphia here, being that I find the Eagles are now fighting for a playoff spot where Washington just got beat in a way that they were punching each other on the sidelines. I don't know if you caught that.
Oh, I did. I saw that live and I was like, what the hell is going on right now?
Yeah, that to me sounds like a team that has now given up. And I think that Philly's going to not roll them the same way that Dallas did because Philly doesn't have that firepower. But I think that Philly wins this game something along the lines of like 28-13.
Gotcha.
John, what do you have?
Eagles.
All right. And what's Sparky the coin have?
Sparky is thinking heads.
All right, we're all on the Philly bandwagon. By the way, for those in the audience that might be joining us here on YouTube for the first time, and maybe you've never listened to our show, John flips a coin, and the coin just picks one of the teams. I know what the teams are. So, John, game two that we have, Jacksonville at New England. New England is -15, and I hate that big of a number. But Jacksonville has been garbage. They've been the worst team in the league. And additionally, what Bill Belichick does to rookie quarterbacks is way worse than what anybody else does to a rookie quarterback. I have New England here -15, John. I think this game is going to be legitimately something in the realm of 27-3.
New England.
All right. And what's Sparky the coin got?
Heads.
Also New England. Oh, nope, that is Jacksonville. All right, so that's the first separator. Game three, we have the Miami Dolphins at the Tennessee Titans. The Titans are -3.5. I am taking the Titans to win the game, but I am taking Miami by the 3.5 because I think that they keep this game within a field goal. Really, at this point, Miami has 2 of the best cornerbacks in the NFL. I think they're going to be able to at least withstand what A.J. Brown brings to the table. And beyond that, what's Tennessee got other than their backup running back here, Foreman, who's been running the ball very well? But I
A.J.
don't
Brown.
foresee. Yeah, but again, he's going against 2 of the best corners in the NFL. Miami's got 2 of them. So I think that he's going to get worn down throughout the game. I really don't think we're going to see a lot from A.J. Brown this game.
I hope not.
With him not being a big part of it, then honestly, I just see Miami staying right in that game. I just don't trust Miami's offense enough to say that they win this game. But I have Miami here. John, who do you have?
Miami.
All right. Me and John are on the same page, which typically will bode well for both of us. What's Sparky the coin got?
Tails.
Tennessee. All right. Game 4, we have the Cleveland Browns at the Pittsburgh Steelers. It is the Browns -3. John, this is Ben Roethlisberger's final home game in his career in Pittsburgh. I say that they rally behind that. Pittsburgh actually gets the upset here at home. John, what do you have?
Man, I'm going Cleveland as long as they could keep on feeding Nick Chubb the ball.
Yeah, that's something that they should probably get more of a handle on because last week, I don't know what the hell that was. They like didn't figure it out till the second half. And John, what does Sparky the coin have?
Sparky is thinking
tails. Tails. So Pittsburgh with me. Last game here. We got Kansas City at Cincinnati. One of the games of the week.
Oh, Colts, that game is going to give me a damn heart attack.
It is Kansas City -4.5, and I am actually taking Cincinnati. I do think Kansas City wins this game, but I think this one stays close because
Colts.
Cincinnati, they're fighting for playoffs right now, John, where Kansas City, even though they could lock up this #1 seed this week, and I believe that they will win the game, I think Cincinnati's going to be hanging in there as tough as balls.
So are you saying that they're going to, bench Mahomes or something and start benching their starters, you think, for Kansas City?
Not this week, no.
Good. Okay. That's me just being very
Well, I said
terrified
Kansas.
of.
If they bench Mahomes, I would not be picking Kansas City to win this game.
No, I mean, like, if they end up getting a sizable lead or something like that kind of going into it.
Well, yeah, if they go up by 35, but they would do that in week 7 against Denver too. So I mean, it's not it's the same rules right now. Kansas City has a chance to get the #1 seed in the AFC. They're going to be fighting for that, and Cincinnati's going to be fighting as hard as possible just to get a playoff spot in general, or specifically the AFC North title.
God, I hope this doesn't come to backfire on me because I have Patrick Mahomes. I got Joe Burrow on the bench and Jamar Chase on the bench, but I'm taking Kansas City.
All right. John's got Kansas City here for his fantasy football team. And who does Sparky the Coin have?
Tails.
Cincinnati. So Sparky's with me there. So a little bit of separation this week, not a whole ton of it, but we will go ahead and see how that plays out. John, is there anything you want to throw out to the audience before I shut us down?
Homie, it's been a longer sports roundtable. Just want to say, ladies and gents, I hope you enjoyed the first ever video sports roundtable. I know I enjoy doing very weird things like this and zooming into the camera. So for our audio listeners, I know you can't see it. So with that said, feel free, go over there, check us out on our YouTube channel. It's at Jacked and Canned. You'll see it, all of our what is live videos here that are streaming. If you're a subscriber, you get a notification for that. But if you want to watch any of the videos later on, watch it back, feel free to do so. We definitely appreciate it. Also, there's the website, jackedandcanned.com. Colbs just wrote up a great article. Colbs, maybe write another piece, dude. You're a great freaking writer. I know everybody's going to love it, especially going here into the last few weeks, if you have time to do so.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Jack and Can.
I forgot to hit